Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 37 of Popcorn Problems. My name is Ilan Pressman, and I'm here with my very good friend and fellow co-host,
Nicholas DePasco. Every week, we'll make sure caught up with the biggest news and movies in Hollywood.
This week, we're going to be giving you our review of Mortal Kombat 2, one of last weekend's biggest new releases. But before we get to that, what's poppin', where we run through the biggest movie stories of the week. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing well. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good today. I'm having a good time over here on Nick Land. How about you?
Nice. Yeah, no, I'm chilling. Just got out of work, so I'm a little tired. But yeah, excited to talk movies with you, man. Yeah, so we're going to start with the box office like we always do. Total this weekend, domestically, was $162.1 million, which is up 63.4% from this weekend in 2025, but down 6% from last weekend. In the first spot this weekend is The Devil Wears Prada 2 in its second week. It pulled in $41 million domestic, which is a 47% drop from last week, which means global it's already at $433.2 million on a $100 million budget. It's a pretty nice hold for the movie, and fun fact, it dropped the exact same as the original. The original dropped 47% in its second weekend back in 2006. That's pretty cool.
Really?
That's pretty funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I am pretty sure that, like, the second one, like, opened more.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it still made more in its second weekend, but it still came out to 47% less. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Time is a flat freaking circle. I'll tell you that much.
Exactly. Number 2 this weekend was Mortal Kombat 2, which is the film we're going to be reviewing this week. Came in with $38.7 million domestic on a 63 global on an $80 million budget. The opening alone matches the entire domestic gross of Mortal Kombat, like the first one. Although there is an asterisk on that because it did drop day and date on HBO Max. That's when they were doing the films that would release on the service on the same day as they would drop in theaters, because it was still kind of during COVID time. So it's kind of hard to compare it, but that is still a pretty cool, like, headline, right? That, like, in its opening weekend, it matched the whole domestic gross of the first. That's pretty good for them, even though it does have that big asterisk.
That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy to mislead people like that, but it's still worth it as a headline. You know, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much this movie is going to end up making, just because I do have it, like, written down here that, like, from Friday to Saturday to Sunday, there was, like, a huge drop in ticket sales. So it could be the type of movie that, like, makes a lot of money in its opening weekend, but maybe not as much later on, especially with the amount of stuff that's going to be coming out. So we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that.
I was going to say, I do think this is going to be a little bit of a healthier movie in terms of, like, actually getting a good budget, box office return. Just based off what I heard of its pretty big opening and also consistent plays, and also my theater, which I went on a Tuesday, to be fair, which is when, like, the movie theater has their ticket discount, whatever. My theater was packed, and it was also not it wasn't like, it was in a pretty regular time. So I don't know, I could see this movie not necessarily doing gangbusters, but just maybe getting its budget back and then some. I think it already get its budget back.
Let me see. 80. So globally, it's at 63 mil on an $80 million budget. So it'll get its budget back.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
So
Plus,
we'll probably get another one. Yeah, obviously it is a little bit more than 80 million, but I'm sure it'll make good money, especially down the line. Because I'm sure this will probably also do good on streaming, because that's where the original one was very successful on. So yeah.
Which is, I mean, I guess we can talk about that more when we're actually talking about the film, but I just find it interesting that this movie even the original got a sequel to begin with, because I didn't hear anybody talk about that original film. Nobody at all. That came and went like a fart in the wind.
I do remember seeing, like, headlines that, like, it drove a lot of subscriptions. It was, like, of the movies that dropped that year, like, day and date, it, like, was one of the ones that drove the most subscriptions, interestingly enough. I guess Mortal Kombat is just a really big franchise. I don't know, because there were also a lot of big movies that year that dropped day and date. I mean, Space Jam 2, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, Dune, the first Dune, Godzilla versus Kong. Like, there's a ton of movies, and so this was the only one that I saw like a headline for at the time. So I guess that first one must have did really, really well to warrant the sequel. So
I guess.
Yeah. In number 3 this week, we have Michael in its third weekend. It only dropped 33%, 36.5 million domestic, 240.4 million global. No, sorry. Domestic total is 240.4 million. The global total is 577.4 million. I think this movie's going to clear $1 billion. It is the highest grossing musical biopic ever domestically, and it just passed Bohemian Rhapsody domestically, so it's definitely gonna, I would say, hit that $1 billion mark pretty soon. I mean,
yeah, I'm pretty
I know
confident about
a lot of people are rewatching it. Like, a lot of people that I know that aren't even big movie going people, they're seeing this too. I know someone that went 3 times. People just love Michael, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this movie wouldn't make the money that it's making, and people wouldn't love it as much as they're loving it if it had that finished initial, or I guess if it had that initial context that they were going to make in the movie to begin with. It really goes to show that art is dead, and the only thing that matters is producers, and they know how to make movies, and they make them well. So, you know, let's say I do them now.
Exactly.
No, man,
you're a genius.
No, I do think it's very interesting that the effect that this movie has had on general audiences, because it's true that they wouldn't have the same impact, or it wouldn't have the same like general audience loving it if it did have the complexities of his life. So, you know,
yeah,
we'll see what happens with that part too.
I was about to say, if we do get that second one, I'm curious what's going to happen, because that is going to theoretically focus on the more darker aspects of his life. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be like a wicked for a good situation where the second one makes like a lot less than the first one. Jackson for good, or I guess Jackson for bad.
I was just gonna say, it's ironic that you say that the movie will focus on the darker aspects of his life, and you can cut this out. When in the lighter, when he was lighter, fuck, I had an actually formatted joke, but it was like, but ironic that it's the darker aspects of his life when he was actually turning lighter skin at that point.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's staying in. I'm not taking that out.
No.
Alrighty.
I get that.
So, number 4 this week was The Sheep's Detective, open to 28 million global. And number 5 this week was the Billie Eilish concert documentary, which pulled in 20 million global. So that's pretty cool. Overall, pretty healthy weekend at the box office. 2026 is still ahead of 2025. Year to date, we're at $3.02 dollars domestic, which is 16% ahead of 2025 at this point. And Disney is the first studio to cross $2 billion globally this year. Mostly thanks to Devil Wears Prada 2, which is probably going to finish with 700 million, which is going to be crazy. I honestly... Not like, hold on, just sidebar. I think I probably put this film too low on my movie wager. It probably should have gone a couple spots higher. Closer.
The Devil Wears Prada 2?
Yeah.
I don't even think I put it on my list. Which I might come around to regretting. Although, to be fair, bro, it's pretty early and we have some pretty big hitters.
It's early days. It is early days, so...
You know?
We'll see.
But
yeah,
I can see your apprehension to like, you know, still change things. Because, like, you know, the early ones still could count.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's the box office. I don't have much news this week. The main thing that I kind of wanted to mention is that Conan O'Brien is going to be back hosting the Oscars next year for the third year in a row. Yeah. It's going to return to ABC and Hulu on March 14, 2027. I like Conan. I thought he's been a fun host. He's been a consistently good host. Not the best, but consistent, I would say. So I don't mind him hosting. We are coming up on the 100th anniversary, so I'm very curious who they're going to do for the 100th Oscars. That's going to be a really big one. And I'm pretty sure that's the last one that's going to be on Hulu. I think after the 100th, they're going to YouTube, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I mean, if you want to. But yeah, I'm also just very curious about that 100th Oscars as well. I feel like they know that they have to do something at least interesting and different with it.
Yeah,
maybe they'll just bring back every single.
Yeah.
They'll just bring back every single living host that is still, and then they'll have each of them do a segment.
I mean, yeah, that'll be pretty cool.
It'll be the Smash Bros. Ultimate of the Oscars.
That would be funny.
But yeah, no, it'll be interesting. And about Cronin, yeah, I agree. He's not like the best of all time, but he's at least consistent, and he knows how to give a good performance. And I just feel like the show goes a lot smoother with him than without him. So I'd rather have that.
Yeah, I really liked his like opening, like almost like short scene, short film, where he kind of like went into all the different like nominees. I thought that was really fun, and a really like cool start to that ceremony. So
I also think that he's like a lot more sincere than other hosts have been in terms of like his love for cinema and just like art in general. I feel like
he just fits. Like he fits.
He just fits. Absolutely. I just remember the Jimmy Kimmel. Which one? Fuck. Which one's the one who got canceled a few months ago, and then like came back?
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel, like the one that got taken off the air.
Yeah. No, I think it was Fallon.
No, it was Kimmel.
Okay. Well, yeah, I remember when he hosted the Oscars, he kept like making jokes about like the movies in itself, and it was like fine, whatever. Like obviously you can make jokes about them, but throughout this whole hosting thing, I just remember just getting this. It was like all very ironic. It was all very like sarcastic because that's his style, I guess. But it just gave off this like I don't want to be here and or this is an unimportant energy, which is like
right.
It's just like for they Maybe there was a good idea of putting it off the air. I'm not the biggest fan of any of the teams to begin with, so. But yeah, no. I'm just glad he's not hosting the Oscars anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he was very good, and like I said, I'm happy Conan is here, and I wouldn't mind him sticking around. I wouldn't want him to host the 100th, but I think this is 98, so I wouldn't mind him, as long as everything goes well. Next year, I wouldn't mind him hosting for a fourth time the year after, and then they switch it up for the 100th. But yeah, that is that with that. I don't really have any other news to talk about this week, so I think now is a good time to move into what we watched. Nick, do you have any?
I do have like one little piece of news.
Yeah. Go ahead, shoot.
Laika, the stop-motion animation company behind Coraline and Paranorman and other films, Kubo and the Two Strings, they just released their trailer for their next film, Wildwood. Did you see this? Did you get a chance to see this, Alon?
I did not, but I do like the Laika films.
Yeah, I'm just talking about it because people don't really know about Laika films, especially when they're new in theaters. So I just want to give it a little space. Here, I think the trailer in itself seems very interesting. It's kind of within that same tone. Earlier films with a lot of like mystery, like Coraline, definitely like a darker fantasy tone, and beautifully animated in stop motion. Something that you genuinely can't believe that you're seeing with your own two eyes and being like, this is like a real. This isn't animation. This isn't computer animation. So yeah, I recommend it to anybody who's watching or to anybody who's listening. Watch the trailer and hopefully watch the film.
Yeah, I actually didn't even know that they're making a new movie, so I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, that is very much the problem. I have a lot of issues with the way that Laika chooses to promote their films because every single one, ever since their first movie, every single one of them has gone less and less successful at the box office, and it breaks my heart. It genuinely breaks my heart, because they're a great animation company with not just because of the animation, but their storytelling. But people don't know about them, and they also don't know how to market themselves because they're too attached to Coraline and Paranorman. They're two actually successful films to really try or anything different. So they just keep talking about how great stop motion it is, and I'm kind of sick of it. But whatever, I don't really want to get into it. I was kind of getting into it, but yeah, just please watch this trailer and
You're
watch
good,
the film
bro.
when it comes out. Wildwood. I believe it comes out October 27th.
Cool. Okay. You did remind me, one last thing I wanted to mention. Grown Ups 3 is officially in the works at Netflix. Sure. I love Grown Ups 1, one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies. Grown Ups 2 is not. So I'm very curious about this. I think this was inevitable. It's going to be by the guy who did the second Happy Gilmore movie. So I guess that's like just a guy that Adam Sandler's going to be working a lot with. So yeah, Grown Ups 3 coming to Netflix. I think it's interesting how Adam Sandler's kind of become like a Netflix darling, essentially. Right, all of his stuff's going to Netflix.
Yeah, I mean,
recently.
it's kind of the space to make low budget comedies these days. You know, big studios aren't really focusing on low budget comedies anymore, and Netflix definitely needs the name brand of Adam Sandler and all of his work. So,
right.
it's a symbiotic, I guess symbiotic relationship between the two. Grown Ups 1 I did really like as a kid. Grown Ups 2 is actually the first movie that I realized was bad while I was watching it. Like when I was a kid, I don't remember. I think it was like maybe like.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just tell the story quickly. I think I was like 7 or 8, and I watched this, and I was like, I was watching it with my family, and I was like, this is bad. This is not Grown Ups 1. and they just told me like, just shut the fuck up and keep watching. But yeah, I don't know. Grown Ups 3, why not? Whatever. It's not like anybody else in that cast is doing anything interesting these days anyway. So who cares? Did you watch Happy Gilmore 2? I haven't even seen any of the Happy Gilmore movies, but
yeah, I did. That shit was yeah, that was a movie. I don't know. That movie sucked, if I'm being honest. I'm honestly upset that they got that guy to direct Grown Ups 3. I don't know why they didn't just get the original director. Let me see who that guy is. Let's see. Directed by Dennis Dugan. What is he up to these days? Yeah, he did all these classic Adam Sandler films. Why is he not doing... What is he up to?
Does he have anything
Let's
upcoming?
see. Oh, wait. No, he was an actor in this. Director, previous. Yeah, he hasn't directed anything since 2020. Oh, his last film was Grown Ups 2. And then he directed, looks like it's a short in 2020. So he actually might have went to like directing after
I was gonna
Grown
say,
Ups 2.
yeah. he got scared after that. He was like, oh, nope, this isn't for me anymore. Bye-bye.
Oh, well.
Wait, sorry.
So,
I did remember one more piece of
watched,
important news. The Legend of Zelda movie
go.
has been moved up from its original release date of, I believe, May 7th to now April 30th, 2027. Not much of a change.
So what is that?
Pretty much.
The week before?
Yeah. But it is significant.
Cool.
That, I don't know. It's the Legend of Zelda movie, and I felt the need to mention it. And that's it.
Cool. Alrighty, let's move into what we watched for real this time. Okay? Do you want to start us off? What would you watch this week,
I did
Nick?
not watch anything this week. I don't, yeah, I've just been busy, honestly. What did you watch, Ilan?
Alright, I watched, I guess, like two main things I'm going to quickly touch on. I'll just give a little bit on both. The first thing is the Sheep Detectives. So, for context, like up until a couple of weeks ago, I thought this movie was like a joke. I was not planning on watching it. And then all of a sudden, there was like a bunch of really good word of mouth on this film, and people are saying it was like really good. And so I was like, I have to check this out, and then I did. And yeah, it was surprisingly a fun time. It's kind of like if you want to show Knives Out to like a 10-year-old. And I mean that in a complimentary way. Nice mystery, well-written characters, good performances, good vocal performances. Bryan Cranston is in here, gives a great performance, voice acting performance. Hugh Jackman isn't in it too much. I was kind of thinking he was going to be in it more, but he does loom over the whole film, and it's just so great seeing Hugh Jackman and kind of seeing him in like a positive, like happy role for the most part. The whole supporting cast is really fun. Yeah, it was just a fun mystery. Good effects on the sheep, and definitely one I wasn't expecting to like, and I'm glad I gave it a chance. The main thing I wanted to talk about this week was The Punisher: One Last Kill, which is the Marvel special presentation on The Punisher, which is supposed to kind of bridge us into Spider-Man Brand New Day, kind of give us an idea of where he is as a character. I really, really want to like this. I really want to love this. There is a lot in here that I really liked, but it just kind of felt incomplete, if that makes sense. It almost felt like it was the first episode of like a full season, right? There's a lot of interesting character stuff that they do with Frank. There's a lot of cool action, a lot of cool choreography, but I just feel like the story is half-baked. This was supposed to kind of explain where explain Frank's absence in Daredevil season 2 that just wrapped. He wasn't in the whole season. He was in the first season of Born Again, wasn't in season 2. Everybody kind of thought that this was going to explain why. Doesn't really address it, which is kind of weird. Very violent, really cool kills, really cool. That this is, I saw somebody point out that it's crazy that this is on the same service that you could watch like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on. I think that's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They bring back a character from the Punisher show, and he doesn't really add much at all. If you haven't seen the show, I mean, you wouldn't think twice about that character. It just kind of felt like they have him in there just to have him. I don't know. I feel like this either should have been a full like hour and a half like special, like almost like a mini movie. I guess hour and a half is a movie, right? So make it like a Disney Plus exclusive movie and really flesh out what they're trying to do here, or make it into a full season. So originally, Daredevil Born Again was supposed to be the first season was supposed to be made up of 18 episodes, right? Then the writer's strike, they reworked the show to kind of fit it into with the Netflix stuff. They split it up into 2 seasons. So season 1 got 9 episodes. Season 2 had 8 episodes. So I'm guessing that this special was like with the rest of the budget. That was supposed to be like, they have the 18 episode budget allotted. 9 in season 1. They used 8 in season 2. They'll use the rest of the budget for this. Which is why I guess it's only the short one special. But yeah, I guess I was just expecting more. I think it could have been so much more. But I don't want to make it seem all bad. I think there was some really great character stuff, really cool kills, really great performances. Yeah, if anything, it made me really excited to see Frank in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So, yeah, that's my review of The Punisher: One Last Kill. I would say it is worth checking out.
Could you said it feels incomplete. Could you give me a non-spoiler like summary of what actually happens in the story and why you think it feels incomplete, or like what you think would feel complete about it? What would make it complete?
Yeah, so pretty much it puts us into a big thing with this is that it feels a lot like retreading old ground, because where Frank starts this and where he ends it are places that we've been before. He starts where he's kind of given up on the whole Punisher thing, and then he gets brought back into it because of something from his past. and then he's kind of just dealing with the repercussions, but not fully, I would say. It was just to pretty much get him into the type of a Punisher that's going to be like fighting to help those who can't help themselves. That's kind of what the point of the special, because up until now, Punisher's been fighting to get revenge for his own, like his family being killed, and now this was to move him into killing to get revenge for people who can't get their revenge themselves.
So this is certainly not his last kill. One last kill.
No. It is not. In fact, I really hope we see a lot of killing going down in a couple months. In, what is it, May? So it's June. Oh my god, 2 months. Oh my god.
Way.
We are 2 months away from Brand New Day. That's crazy.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that. Oh my god, time is passing by so quickly. That's so crazy. I mean, I'm excited to see like his character in Brand New Day. Moreover, just like because I know how much of a contrast he is to like your regular Marvel hero, especially someone like Spider-Man. And I know, I mean, obviously I know they have like interactions, like they've had like a whole relationship in the comics. Spider-Man and Punisher, like, you know, they're frequently seen together.
Yeah, Punisher debuted in the Spider-Man
actually, that
comic.
is true. Oh my god, yeah, you're right. You reminded me of that. But yeah, so I'm just excited to see that sort of style or that sort of tone adapted in Brand New Day. I am interested in the Punisher as a character and how the handling of him within the Marvel Universe is. I wish it just wasn't so attached to Daredevil. Not that there's anything wrong with it being attached, but because of it.
Oh, don't worry. There is no Daredevil.
So I can watch this
film. Don't worry. They don't address him. Yeah, they don't address him. The closest thing that you get is like a cameo. Not even a cameo, but just like I mentioned, he's having visions, right? So one of these visions is like a character that like overlaps in both his story and the Daredevil story, but no Daredevil stuff.
I'm sure you're absolutely elated about that.
No, actually, I wasn't.
I know.
Just because it made no sense for him to not be in season 2. He really should have been there. Really should have been there. And so I really was expecting a good explanation here. And I didn't really get what I was looking for, which bothers me. I
mean,
I don't know. It is a fun watch. It goes by quick, high octane. Yeah, it is a fun watch. There is problems.
I mean, that's probably why they made it, for people like me who are interested in the character of the Punisher but don't want to get into the whole lore of Daredevil. And that's probably also why they retreaded so much new ground. Which is interesting. I don't know. I mean, I think, actually, honestly, you telling me that it's not unassociated with Daredevil at all makes me want to watch it more. And I probably will at this point.
I get that.
So, I don't know. That's probably, especially if they're setting up for Brand New Day, it makes sense why the direction that they went about this film.
Well, I mean very nice when I say it sets up Brand New Day. It really doesn't. It just kind of gives us an idea of like where Frank is as a character at that time. Like there's no direct setup.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know you didn't like literally mean like we see Spider-Man and this type shit. But more like it sets up like his character.
This is the project that they figured out with Sony. This is the project that they got him into.
Out of everything, bro, they could. They're not Venom, bro. the Punisher. I mean, honestly, that'd be spectacular. But yeah, I don't know.
No, it would be awesome.
Oh my god! Because I do. You know what? Here's the thing. I do keep seeing like people clowning on Tom Holland's Marvel Spider-Man because of how shit.
Yeah, he's on big fraud watch right now. He's on big fraud watch right now, dude. You haven't seen Daredevil, but the shit going on in New York. I mean,
apparently they move in like the French Revolution, bro. Like that's what they move in like prime Gotham is what I heard. Like like New York City and Daredevil.
Bro, they were going. Yeah. You've seen The Penguin, right? Okay, it was kind of like all the shit going down in the Penguin and the Batman not showing up.
That's crazy.
Like that level of like,
bro. And then he gets the key to the city, and then he gets the key to the city, and the
yeah, dude. Yeah, they really gotta show us a good montage to like clear up his name because there is man, it really sucks that there is the rights issues.
Yeah, it feels honestly it feels completely almost irrelevant the fact that we had to wait so long to get Spider-Man in the MCU to begin with. If they're not going to properly utilize,
because it doesn't feel like he's not fully
he's
there, right?
That's what I mean.
Issue.
So it's like, what the fuck was the point of even doing that to begin with, other than to make billion-dollar films? Like I said, these producers are right. They know how to make movies. Oh my god,
yeah.
Our jobs are irrelevant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into the main feature.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know that was a question. Yeah, for sure.
No, you're good. All right, so quick spoiler-free summary, and then our review, spoiler-free, and then spoilerific. Let's go. Johnny Cage joins other fighters in the ultimate no-holds-barred battle to defeat the dark rule of Shao Kahn, a powerful tyrant who threatens the very existence of the Earth Realm and its defenders. Nick, what did you think of Mortal Kombat 2?
I definitely was there the whole time, and I watched it with my eyes. And like images processed through my brain, and then I saw credits, and then I stood up, and then I went home. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any sort of connection to the Mortal Kombat universe other than like playing Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe when I was like really young, which is honestly a goated game. And then I didn't watch the first one that came out during the COVID era, and this movie came out, and Ilan said, this is our next episode," and I was like, okay, yeah, well, let's do it. And then I watched it, and it's what am I supposed to say about it, right? Like, it's not made for me, and because I was also thinking during the film, what do I know about Mortal Kombat? I know it's a fighting game that takes itself like seriously in tone. But it's also, because of that seriousness, it's also kind of campy. And I know all these like characters are from these realms, and they're all like wizards and such, and yada yada yada. So what do I know about Mortal Kombat? Does this movie reflect what I know about Mortal Kombat, and also like what like an actual fan of Mortal Kombat, the series, would want from this movie? And I think yes, like I think it does. I was like sitting next to people who were like getting all the references clearly, and they were having fun. They were enjoying it. I just think so it's not necessarily bad on a it's not bad on a level that like you won't enjoy it if you're a Mortal Kombat fan. It's more like it's actually just like a bad movie, and it was a bad movie to the point where, and this doesn't happen frequently for me, to the point where I kind of towards the end wrapped back around to enjoying it a little bit. I was like, this is so stupid and poorly written, and I couldn't care less about what's happening, that I'm kind of into, like, I'm into this stupid ride. Like, let's see where we land. Well, I guess I'll talk about a moment in spoilers for a second, but yeah, that's how I feel. It's not a bad movie. Or no, it is a bad movie, but it's not like an unwatchable movie, nor is it necessarily boring, which I can appreciate. It's more of just whatever. There is no narrative, so just go in with that. There is no whatever story it's trying to tell you. It's lying directly to your face. The whole point of this movie was to have two people fighting and have a lot of blood in it, and that's okay. And yeah, like that's those are my thoughts. What do you think about the movie a lot?
Yeah, no, I agree with everything that you said. For context, I've never been like a Mortal Kombat fan. I've never really even played the games very much. It's never been a franchise I've ever engrossed myself in, been familiar with. So, I kind of was lost by a lot of this movie. I wasn't really fall. Okay, for context, I saw this in 4D,
Oh God.
so I think that did help
Yeah.
my experience. No, it made it
Yeah.
pretty fun, right? It really made those, because the fight sequences are great. They're
Hmm.
choreographed well. They're shot well. They're bloody. They're action packed. They're fun. Cool, interesting uses of the powers. Like those are all great. It's all the stuff in between that bothers me. Um, I just didn't find it very interesting. I didn't find like the look of the world to be very cool. I didn't find the costuming to be very cool. I just kind of found it to be a little lame almost. Like the way they were talking about the different realms, like they didn't really go into it or explain. So someone like me who's not familiar, it was really hard for
Did
me
you
to
say you watched the
follow.
first one?
Um, like I did, but I didn't because clearly I don't
Okay.
remember anything. I recognize some of the
Hmm.
faces, right? I recognize some of the faces, um, but I really don't remember much of the lore at all. So I don't know. Maybe I watched it with like my eyes closed or
No, I
something.
mean,
But I don't know.
sorry.
The
Yeah, continue.
the most I guess not the most, but the thing I have the biggest issue with in this film is the character of Johnny Cage. I love Carl Urban. I think he is a phenomenal actor. He was incredibly miscast here. Incredibly miscast. Nothing about what he was doing in this film felt natural, nor did it fit the rest of the movie, which I get that's the point of Johnny Cage, that he's an outlier, right? But I don't know. It felt like he was in a different movie. Um, it just nothing about that character worked for me. I didn't think he looked particularly cool in fight sequences. I didn't think his uh, character arc, just kind of jumped all over places from having one point of view on something to just having a different, according to what the script needs. Um, I don't know. I really wanted to like this movie. I thought the trailer looked cool, but I guess seeing all the cool moments snipped together worked a lot better than watching it in full and actually experiencing it as a film. It really didn't invoke much out of me, which really sucks.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree about Carl Urban being miscast. I do agree that he does feel like he's in a completely different film than everybody else. And I also wanted to talk. Do you want to go into spoilers?
Yeah. This will be your spoiler warning if you haven't seen the movie and you plan to. Now's a great time to click off.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily agree that he's miscast. I just think maybe this is gonna, and I guess I am to an extent agreeing that maybe they should have gotten somebody else. Um, but I think they could have gotten somebody like a little bit more objectively attractive to fit the. I think that would have been maybe a better role. But I think Carl Urban's personality, and his just like the general way of like his acting with the character of Johnny Cage, I think it kind of worked. Um, just because it was one of the only bright parts of a film full of bland characters that just like him, Kano, the other Australian actor, and damn, that's pretty much it. Even like the villains, like
I mean, good on you. Good on you for knowing that other guy's name. I mean,
just because I also remember him from the
I
game,
guess funny.
like I remember him from the OG game.
Okay, there, there we go. So that'll. I'm sure if you played the games and you have attachment to it, this will work a lot better for you. Um, like I said, the kills are really cool. Um, I don't know. I hate that I'm being
No,
so
but I
negative
mean,
on this film.
I
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I feel bad to
honestly
be
like.
negative on it, but
Here's the thing. I think the only reason I'm laughing about it is because I was I was pissed at the time wasted at the movie theater, like honestly. I think also just like
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't have like I said. I mean, I know I said this already. Like, I don't have a lot of a connection. Like that, my only connection is that game. But even then, I agree that I didn't feel like there was any connection. That the film made any effort to make a connection towards the lore, or like to make things actually matter, or to make things interesting. And I was confused as to if that was my fault for jumping in at the second film. Or if that's just the movie like not doing the movie's job. So I almost didn't really consider that, and I just kind of went with it as the movie went on, hoping that that it was because I didn't watch that first film. But after what you're telling me, I don't know. And also everything looked like
yeah. I will say, yeah, it looked really ugly. It was definitely all shot on green screen.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
One thing that I did just remember that I really liked was when we first got introduced to Johnny Cage and they showed him as like a washed up actor at like a convention that nobody wants to like go to his meet and greet.
Yeah, the dude is old as fuck.
I just think that's really funny. That was like, yeah, that was a really good bit of like, you know, all the lines around him are like long as fuck, but nobody wants to go and say hi to him. I thought that was just really funny. Like this movie has good moments.
Have you ever seen that in like a real convention? And like, who was it? If you have.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. The thing is that like the one that I've seen it at is just because it was like a smaller convention. But it was the girl from Happy Death Day, Jessica Roth. She had no line.
I mean, it's like one movie that came out like 5 years, maybe more than that, 5 years ago.
Yeah, she was very nice. I did speak with her. She was nice. She gave me like insight on like how they filmed stuff in that movie. I asked her some questions about that. That was cool. But yeah, that is like someone that had no line that I saw.
Alrighty then. That's interesting.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add on Mortal Kombat 2?
Yeah, everything looked really ugly. Everything looked like it had a green screen, and I just
which sucks because this got moved from its original release date. It had so much more time to polish up the effects and you know, fix a couple of things here and there. But I don't even know if they changed anything. I don't know if they used, because they delayed it not because of any like reason of like reshoots or anything. It's just they dropped that first trailer and it had a very good reception, so they wanted to make it like a summer blockbuster movie. And I feel like honestly that's gonna hurt its box office. I think it would have made a lot of money in its original October release date, because it also does kind of feel like a Halloween movie, you know, with the costumes and all that. It would have fit that vibe. So I think they really shot themselves in their foot. That's one of the reasons why I had higher expectations for this. I was like, oh, they delayed this. They had such high hopes in it. Maybe it'll actually be something. Not really. So.
How do you feel about the Street Fighter trailer and also film eventually? And do you think... Yeah.
So, I don't know if I've seen the Street Fighter trailer in whole. I've seen like bits and pieces, and then I've seen a bunch of like the photos and the posters. I think that looks really fun as well. I mean, I thought this movie looked cool from its trailers and from its posters and stuff. I thought it looked great. So, I mean, I'm not really sure, you know, I'm not really sure how it's going to really play out, but I think it's going to be very fun. And I'm pretty sure that comes out like a couple days after my birthday. Oh, yeah. So that's, you know, will probably help it. In that case, I'll be in a good mood when I watch it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, what about you? Why do you ask?
Just because, like, I mean, I guess related fighting video game movie. I also just want to point out the distinction that I feel between these two films, just because something that really didn't work for me about this film is the self-seriousness of it all. And like, I understand that's like the tone of the games, and you know, they're being true to the adaptation or whatever. I just find it humorless and overly dramatic and unfunny. And it was really killing it's different when you're playing it and when you're in that dramatic tone, literally controlling the characters. Mind you, not even in a story setting, in a fighting game setting, but it's different when you're playing it versus when you actually have to be in this world and everybody is talking like a generic NPC of separate games that we already know exist. But I think I'm actually excited, and I when I saw the trailer for Mortal Kombat 2, I wasn't excited for it just because I figured that it was going to turn out like this. But I'm excited for Street Fighter. I think that has actually potential to be something. Not only because I don't have that much more of a connection to Street Fighter than Mortal Kombat, really. I guess I like the character designs more. That's pretty much it. But also, I think the Street Fighter movie has like a lot of color. And not just like visually, but it's just a very vibrant film with a lot of personality that you can tell from the trailer. And 2, it seems to have a lot of humor, and it seems to not take itself seriously and embrace the fact that like this is a silly fighting game full of all these like silly weird characters doing moves that don't exist. Mortal Kombat 2 did that, but what it did in the visuals of taking of taking like all the silliness and turning it into real, that aspect of the film was good, but the drama aspect of like of what they were trying to do with these characters just completely missed, like making that aspect of the game into an authentic into a film just completely misses the mark. I think the way that Street Fighter is doing it, where it's like a little goofy, it's a little tongue-in-cheek, but hopefully could still be some sort of emotional, or maybe not even emotional, just like have some sort of have a narrative that I can care about. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't even have to be unique. Just make it anything, and I'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, we'll probably end up reviewing that whenever that comes out, so
yeah.
Hopefully it'll turn out better than this.
Yeah. I just want to say I'm excited for that movie.
Yeah. I also think the cast on that is a lot better, so I think that could help it out.
For sure.
With that being said, that's it for episode 37 of Popcorn Problems. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you made it this far, you're the real MVP. We'll be back next week reviewing Obsession, which is a horror movie that me and Nick are both very excited about. In the meantime, you can hit us up on socials at Popcorn Problems Pod and let us know what you thought of Mortal Kombat 2. Don't forget to follow, rate us 5 stars on whichever platform you're using, and DM us your hottest takes and suggestions. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Have a good one.